So the question is, which fat is best for your heart? So if you don't want your heart to be, or your arteries to be clogged up, which sort of fat should you consume? The saturated fat or the vegetable oil? May peace and blessings be with you. Hi guys, this is Shahadat, and today I'm going to speak to you about the effect of different kind of fat in your heart or on your heart. In our heart we are developing clogs, and the arteries are getting clogged up, and sometimes it ends up being absolutely blocked artery. So in 2004, they published the result of a study that was conducted on 200 women. And what they did is they did angiogram in each one of them, and they took a photograph of their arteries, of their heart arteries, and measured how much clogging up there was. And then they were again tested 3 years later. And the data is presented in this graph here. So those people were divided into four groups. The first group is the least consumer group. So whatever type of fat we are talking about, or we will be looking into, this is the group that had the least amount of those fats. The second group had more than the first group, and in the same way, the fourth group had the most amount of any of these fats. So if we look at these black bars here, not the gray ones, the black ones, this shows, as you can see in the graph, it starts from 0, goes downwards in the negative way, which is a measure of the bigger it is, the more clogging up there was. That means the heart was more, or the artery was more clogged up. For saturated fat category, looks like it happened the most for the group that had the least amount of saturated fat. The second group, who had a bit more saturated fat, their clogging up was less. The third group was even less, and the fourth group, who had the most amount of saturated fat, looks like their arteries actually opened up a little bit. So that was quite amazing. Saturated fat, that means ghee, butter, lard, tallow, sweat, all these sort of fats. The group that had those fat the most, their arteries looks like it just opened up a little bit instead of clogging up even more. For the other types of fats, if we consider the monounsaturated fat, looks like the group that had the least amount had the most amount of clogging. The second group had a bit less, third group had a bit more less, and the fourth group had the least. But still, compared to the this other group where their artery actually opened up, this group is still not doing as good. But looks like there is a bit of protective function of monounsaturated fat against the clogging up of your heart arteries. The third group, if we look into that, is the polyunsaturated fat consumers. So the first group is the least amount of polyunsaturated fat consumers. It looks like their clogging, heart clogging, or clogging up of their arteries seems to be the least. The second group, who had a little bit more polyunsaturated fat, their clogging ups looked like even more. Third group had more polyunsaturated fat, and their clogging seems to be even more. The fourth group, who had the most polyunsaturated fat means the fat that we say like soybean oil or corn oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, all these oils, they are polyunsaturated fat, and looks like the fourth group, who had the most amount of polyunsaturated fat, they had the most amount of clogging. So looks from this study, it appears that the saturated fat is actually very good for your heart, and to prevent any coronary disease, you should actually have a lot of saturated fat. And compared to what we are normally told by the medical practitioners or healthcare practitioners, contrary to their opinion, the experiment shows that if you have more polyunsaturated fat, that means the vegetable oil, your heart will develop more clogging, which is going to actually push you towards coronary heart disease more. And this is the group we suggest them to. Normally, the medical professionals, they suggest that these groups should have the most amount of polyunsaturated fat, like vegetable oil. Absolutely crazy. So this is the, I just wanted to bring this up to your attention so you can better look after your health. And as you have seen the photograph of Dr. Jason Fung in this slide, because this slide was taken from one of his presentations. In the description section of my video, I'm going to give the or share the link of the original video. So if you have a look, that will open up your mind about how the medical industry basically gave us wrong information and caused our health to deteriorate, or basically damaged our health, and what we should do now to actually fight back, how we can actually get control over our own health. So hope you'll find this video informative, and if you do, please like the video, share with your friends and family, and if you subscribe to my channel, you will get to see the other videos that I'll be producing in the future. Take care, and thanks for staying with me, and I hope to see you again. Take care. Bye-bye.